Welcome back into the 47 ABC special, Breaking the Stigma, Just Listen. Before the break, we talked about the stigma surrounding the LGBTQIA community. Now we're going to talk about how that same stigma played a role in our four members figuring out who they really are. Before anyone in the LGBTQIA community comes out to anyone else, they first have to come out to themselves.
How do you know you're straight? Like, are you, like if I was talking to you, I would say, well, are you attracted to a male? And if you said no. Yeah, and I'd say, well, I'm not attracted to a male either. And you just know these things.
The problem is getting to that point where they know, because things like religion, stigma, and more can complicate that. For Chris, a member of the Church of the Latter-day Saints, she says her faith played a huge role in her feeling uncomfortable in her own skin.
This is probably the worst thing I could ever do, and I'm sinning. So I'm probably going to go to hell if I keep thinking like this.
For her, that internal struggle actually caused her to step away from the church, because she said she felt God wouldn't want to listen to her since she was gay. But after kissing a girl she liked for the first time, that's when she said she knew for sure.
When I first felt like that, I was like, okay, 100%, like, this is what's happening. I'm going to just change my life right now. Like, I'm definitely gay.
And for many, that first kiss is a moment they know.
That's when I realized, and again, that's where society takes everything that seems to be as sexual. But that's the final realization that I realized that, hey, boom, the light went on for me. Like, I realized that now I am.
Kai's path was a bit different though. As a non-binary bisexual, they figured out they were bisexual first. But the process of figuring out they were non-binary was a little different. In Kai's early high school years, they say they tried being a boy because being a girl just didn't feel right.
And that didn't feel right either. So it was later that I was seeing things about other genders and being non-binary. And it was sort of a slow transition of me being like, okay, well, what does that mean for me? What does that mean for my appearance? What does that mean for what I tell people? But it's been a journey.
For Alice, who identifies as transgender, her journey really began when she was just a small child, playing a game of grown-up with a neighbor.
So I dressed up as a grown-up woman because why not? That's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my brother seeing me, and the look on his face was just like, what are you doing? And those words just kind of just stuck in my head, like, did I do something wrong?
As Dr. Michelle Schlehofer, the executive director of PFLAG Salisbury, explains, what Alice experienced was something called gender policing, essentially scolding someone for not acting in a way that corresponds to the gender they were assigned at birth and the stereotypical roles that come with it.
You're sending a clear message that that's wrong, that that's abnormal, that that's something that you shouldn't do, and that's going to be damaging in the long run.
And for Alice, it was, who says her fear of being attacked for her effeminate ways forced her to build a character, almost like a method actor, watching other boys in school to learn how she should act to blend in, something that made her feel like she was a fake and something that pushed her to the edge.
I struggled a lot with alcohol through most of my 20s and some other substances. I was suicidally depressed for a very long time. I've put a lot of thought into it. I've actually held a gun to my head. When your finger hits the trigger, even though it's only like 5 pounds, it's like pushing on a brick wall. That one, it's so hard to do.
Alice says a big part of her struggle was that there was no real LGBTQIA community where she grew up, so she had no knowledge of transgender people or that it was even a thing. It wasn't until later in life, while dating another girl, that Alice met her first transgender person, which then caused her to experiment with her own look. And eventually, it was her ex-girlfriend who then pushed Alice to realize who she really was.
She got this brilliant idea, just like, go get a shower, take care of everything, clean your face up, whatever. And then I did all that, and she had some of her clothes picked out, and just like, okay, put this on, and then sit down, and she did my makeup, and then it's like, okay, just go into the bathroom, you can see yourself now. And then seeing myself like that was like seeing me for the first time.
According to Alice, that moment was life-changing for her because she finally realized who she really was. But after coming out to herself, she still had to come out to loved ones and family members. After the break, we'll take a look at that part of her story and talk about how Mark, Chris, and Kai came out to their loved ones as well. Now, just as a reminder, we've listed the information for both PFLAG Salisbury and Camp Rehoboth on our website, 47abc.com. But if you need help now, you can call the Trevor Project's Lifeline, a crisis intervention and suicide prevention phone service specialized for those in the community. The number for that is 866-488-7386. You can also text the crisis text line by sending the message START to 741-741. Stay with us. You're watching 47 ABC.